Hey guys, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming on today to do the Iron Man recap, Iron Man 1. So, this is the, oops, sorry. I should have gotten my selfie stick, but I didn't feel like getting up and getting it. It's kind of late, so yeah. But I just wanted to come on and do the recap for Iron Man 1. So let's do some housekeeping first. Please like my videos, share them, subscribe, and hit the bell down below so that you could be notified whenever I upload a video. So let's get to these MCU recaps. So Iron Man, most of you I'm guessing have seen Iron Man. So I'm not going to get too in-depth on the recap of the Iron Man movie. And of course, I took notes because I've seen the movie like 100 times, but I still can never figure out the right way to tell you guys the recap, which is weird. But here we go. So we know that Iron Man starts with showing Tony Stark. He's riding in a convoy, and he's just kind of talking about, you know, the weapons that they have gone to see. He did a demonstration for the weapons. They've gone to see them. Now they're taking him back to wherever he needs to go, and the convoy gets hit. They kidnap Stark. They kill pretty much everyone in the convoy. They kidnap Stark. Well, they kill everyone in the first two, or the last two cars or Hummers in the convoy, and they kidnap Stark. He's in this Afghan cave basically for months, and he meets this gentleman, and let me make sure I get his name correct. It is, I can't find it in my mini notes. I'll get to it. I can't remember the guy's name though. Jensen. Dr. Jensen. So he meets Dr. Jensen, and a Afghan guy who's in charge of like the whole operation or whatever. He shows Tony that he has a bunch of the Stark weapons, and he wants Tony to reconstruct a Jericho missile because that's the one that he doesn't have. And he wants that one because with one missile he can destroy like a whole city. So Tony has no intention of making this missile for him. And of course, he enlists Jensen to help him. And that's when he builds the Iron Man suit. But before that, we are shown the Rhodey is presenting an Apogee Award to Tony, and Tony doesn't show up. So Obadiah, who is Howard Stark, Tony's father's friend from eons ago, and he's kind of one of the chief executive officers in the company, he accepts the award. Rhodey goes to find him. He's gambling in the casino, and he's explaining to him, to make sure that he's on time for that presentation. So then we go back to Afghanistan, and then they show the presentation of the Jericho missile. So and then it kind of goes on from that attack again, and then Tony wakes up. He's in this cave, and he has this circular thing in his chest. He doesn't quite know what's going on, but Jensen then tells him basically it's the arc reactor. So that that circular thing attached to a car battery is what's keeping Tony alive. So that's when he decides that he's going to enlist in Jensen's help to help him create this suit so that he can defeat those men. He can get Jensen back to his family, and he can get back to the United States. So he's helping him build the suit, got through that. Tony escapes in the suit. Unfortunately, Jensen gets killed because he improvises a plan of attack because Tony needed more time to get the computer systems up in the suit so that he can shoot, he can have his weapons be online or whatever. So Tony escapes, and then the United States military finds him. Of course, like the helicopters or whatever, they pick him up, and once he's a little bit more rested, he asks Obadiah about like this whole weapon situation. He's like, our weapons are getting into the wrong hands. We wanted them for the United States. And Obadiah is telling them basically, don't worry about it. Just take some time to rest and blah, blah, blah. And then Tony Stark makes this huge announcement that they're going to stop making weapons, which is what the Stark Industries does. They make weapons. So Obadiah is pissed, and Tony starts talking about trying to get the arc reactor that they have up and working for energy, because that's what he has in his chest. That's what's keeping him alive, because he remakes it, of course, and makes it better. So Agent Phil Coulson actually appears, and he approaches Pepper about speaking to Tony, and she kind of, blows him off, of course. And then we start seeing Tony trying to perfect that suit, and so he can fly and all this other crazy stuff. And it's funny because the first person, like, he has like a computer system inside of the suit, and it's Jarvis. It's named Jarvis, and it is the voice of the gentleman that plays Jarvis in Agent Carter. He's Howard Stark's butler. So, which is really cool. And I see how they're tying the stories together. The Afghan gentleman, after Tony kind of burns his face up, he finds the suit and he finds the drawings and stuff. So they start to try to remake the suit. And then Obadiah goes over there, and we find out that he is actually in cahoots with these Afghanistan people that are trying to remake the suit. He wants the suit for himself, so he kills all of them. They get the suit in the plans or whatever, and they come back to the States. So, excuse me. Tony goes to a party. Coulson's there trying to make time to debrief Tony on what happened overseas, and Tony's not trying to hear it. He's just kind of ignoring him. And that's kind of when we see Pepper and Tony almost kiss and almost have a moment, and then it doesn't happen. I don't know what that is. We find out that Obadiah ordered the hit on Tony. So that was a big part. So Obadiah actually ordered the hit on Tony from the Afghanistan guys. And that's why it was so important for us to see Obadiah speaking to those gentlemen. And we kind of find that out. And and Obadiah actually steals Tony's. This is kind of like a rough, like, everything. So we find out that Obadiah is a bad guy. He basically is trying to create the suit so that he can sell the suit to the highest bidder as a number of different Iron Man's, Iron Men, not Iron Man's, Iron Men. So he goes to Tony's house. He uses this something that they have created, and you put it next to his ear, and it basically causes him to be completely numb. Like he can't move, he can't do anything. So he's paralyzed. And he rips Tony's arc reactor out of his chest, which is the new and improved one. Tony knows that Pepper made him an award that has his first one, and it says proof that Tony Stark has a heart, and it's in like this glass case. So after Obadiah leaves and Tony regains some of his movement, he escapes to downstairs. He's trying to get the arc reactor out of there, and one of his machines that he always fusses at and complains about actually hands him the arc reactor, and he passes out. So then Rhodey comes, and Rhodey helps him, get his self back together or whatever, and then he takes off after Obadiah. So they have like a huge fight in the suits because Obadiah has recreated that suit from the original drawings, and Tony knows certain things about the suits, and he knows that there's like a icing problem. So basically he has Obadiah follow him into the atmosphere, and his suit, both of their suits ice over, and they just kind of fall out of the air. But in the meantime, he has Pepper basically start the arc reactor and like put in all these codes and stuff, so that once he gets Obadiah over where the arc reactor is, he's gonna hit him with a full blast. And that's basically what he did. And he killed Obadiah, almost killed himself too, and she didn't want to do it because she's like, oh my God, you'll die. And, he's like, I don't care, just do it, because Obadiah was going to kill him. So he thought he was going to die anyway. And then, of course, we all know the final scene where he's trying to tell everyone what happened at Stark Industries, and like, they're talking about this Iron Man that was flying over the city, and he just kind of breaks protocol and he says, I am Iron Man. And of course, that's like the end of it, until, Marvel, they always have that little snippet at the end, a little Easter egg, or I think that's what they're called. And it's basically, Shield's, Nick Fury, talking to him about Shield and the Avengers Initiative. So, and trying to get Tony Stark on board. So that is basically Iron Man 1 in a nutshell. If you have not seen it, I recommend that is one of the ones that you see. If you don't want to go through the whole list of everything that I'm going to watch, then that is one of the movies that you have to see, because that was kind of the start of the actual MCU. Hulk, people like to argue that Hulk actually was, but that was the Edward Norton Hulk. So it was before we got, why can't I think of anyone's name today? Before we got the new gentleman, I can't think of his name right now, but before we got him as Hulk. So the Hulk that we now know and love. So that is one that you definitely want to go see. Iron Man, I would say Iron Man, Captain America 1, the first Avengers, and then you have to see Winter Soldier and Civil War. Like, those are must-sees. And you actually should see Black Panther as well, because then you'll understand vibranium a little bit more. So that is my quick, fast, and in a hurry recap of Iron Man 1. Stay tuned for my Iron Man 2 recap. That should be coming fairly soon. I'm like trying to pile these in before the 27th. I don't think I'm going to get it done, you guys, but I'm going to try just for you guys. If I do not get it done, I want you to know. Sorry, I had a low battery and it's telling me that right now. I want you to know that I'm still going to continue to watch them and still give you recaps until I get caught up. So, and I'm actually going to, and I know this is contrary to popular demand, I'm actually going to throw Deadpool into this one. I'm not going to throw X-Men into it because there was a lot going on with X-Men, and then we had X-Men First Class, and so there was a lot going on with that, and Logan and Wolverine. So those I'm gonna keep separate. Maybe at some point I'll do those, but I am gonna throw Deadpool into it, and possibly Spider-Man. I didn't see it on my list, so maybe not Spider-Man, but well, they kind of started Spider-Man over, so we won't throw the old Spider-Man into this, but definitely, the new Spider-Man. And like I said, I'm gonna kind of throw Deadpool into it because he is a part of the MCU, and I'm hoping to see him fighting alongside the X-Men and the Avengers, or fighting against them, however that works. I don't care, I want it to happen. So again, you guys, like my videos, share, subscribe, and hit the bell and get notified whenever I upload a new video. Until next time, you guys, bye.